Hey, Carlin, I've heard of Havasu Falls, but what is it?
Well, many people ask this question. They see a picture and let's go take a look.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Wow, here we are at Havasu Falls. I love being at the base of Havasu Falls, but they are huge.
Wow, that's a different perspective. I mean, that very inviting to maybe take a dive, maybe just have a little dive down here. And no, dear, that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's over 200 feet. I wouldn't recommend it, Stephen. I wouldn't do that. It's
Okay,
not
let's
safe.
get back up. Let's get back up. Let's get back up. So actually, that's not a good idea because it's quite
Too
dangerous.
far. Too far, and you'll get hurt. And that's not what we want to happen when you visit Havasupai.
I gotcha. I gotcha. All right. So tell me a little bit more about Havasupai.
Well, let's talk about Havasupai. The big challenge is the permit process. Then there's hiking and there's helicopter. So let's go talk about the permit process. It's the most difficult part.
Okay, so I'm thinking that you're probably going to do some paperwork here because it says permit. So let us know a little bit more about this piece.
All right, this is the most critical part. All the permits are issued on February 1st. And in the past, they've gone in 2 hours for the whole year. So if you're not paying attention to February 1st, you're probably not going to have a supai this year. So make sure you pay attention to that. Now, that is for the campground. Sometimes lodging, there will still be availability, but almost all of it goes on February 1st. Unbelievable in 2 hours. And then one other thing that they've added is you now check in at Grand Canyon Caverns, which is up on top and over an hour away.
Man, they don't make it easy for you. So, well, I understand. If you need to go to there, you just positively got to do it. You got to jump through some hoops. Okay, what else?
Well, the next thing you need to know is about the hiking. And I just want to give you a little bit of a warning here, Stephen. It's 10 miles one way, so you've got to be prepared. Now, people who hike a lot are not going to find that super difficult, but you are in the Grand Canyon environment and it is hot. So you'll see here, many people will go before sunrise and they'll return. And that's what I recommend. Avoid the heat, obviously, do all the other preparations for hiking, but it is a 2,500-foot descent as you get down to the waterfalls. And you do have to take yourself down there and back 10 miles one way.
Well, that sounds quite challenging. But this looks kind of easy.
Well, it is, except for tribal members get priority when they take the helicopter. And when you go, it will be first come, first serve. So there will be a big long line queued up. Now, you need to be prepared to hike because even when you get here to Supai, it's still 2 more miles to get down to the falls. So you still have some hiking involved, but this takes the majority and the hardest part of the hiking out of it.
So, what's going on here, buddy?
Well, the number one thing you need to know about coming to Havasupai is you must mark your diary for February 1st. It's all about February 1st. You've got to get that permit or none of the rest of this matters. And then, of course, hiking is next. You've got to be prepared for that 10-mile hike or, worst case, that 2-mile hike if you're going past the helicopter.
Okay, so we're back to the campfire, and I think if I was to give you a bit of a take here, is what started out as in well, those are amazing waterfalls. Is that if you really positively got to actually experience it, planning is the key. And actually, if you don't do that, it seems like you're trying to make a lot of things happen in a short space of time. For those who are maybe very fit, who have been there before, probably not a problem. But if you just maybe a casual visitor, that's quite a trek. What's your take on that?
Well, and you're right. Lots of people are like, hey, it's only 10 miles. And I just want to go see the waterfalls because I've seen it on Instagram or on Facebook. I've seen these beautiful pictures. The number one thing you got to remember is we're a guest of the Supai Nation. When we go to Havasupai, they are the most beautiful waterfalls at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. You must be prepared both in permit, hiking, and the possibility of taking the helicopter. So it's a lot harder than if you've just heard about it or seen it on Instagram. So I want you to be prepared.
Hey man, that's some great super tips there. So as always, I look forward to the next video. See you on the next one.
See you on the next one.